So welcome back to Adventures Nearby, and we are here in the largest stone circle in Canada, if not the only actual henge in Canada, and it's just in our backyard in Nova Scotia.
What's up, happy people? Welcome back to the channel. We are headed down to somewhere that's really special here. We are on the Wallace River. And the Wallace River has a series of roads that run next to it, near to it, all the way from the harbor all the way up to Wentworth. And Wentworth locally being known for ski and travel vacations. This place, in its own right, are known more for its rivers. And so Wallace River is a big fishing destination. The bridge that we just crossed is separated, meaning that on this side that we're on right now, people can fly fish. On the other side, you can bait fish, and ultimately right where that bridge is where the brackish water starts. The tide comes up and it goes back down. But this river is unreal. It's actually really beautiful, and I'm excited to show you guys what we're coming into. As far as I know, what we're about to see on the other end of this road is the only one in Canada. I'm not aware of any other one. And if you'll notice, for me, that's kind of a thing. I like to share the stuff that no one else gets to see. And it's pretty impressive that it's actually here in Canada, because it takes a lot of effort to do it. And it's a considerable financial investment, and you have to have some sort of connection to this thing in order for you to value it in such a way that you would want to put it up in your property. So I'm trying not to give a whole lot away here because I want you guys to see what this is all about. So I know that the thumbnail is going to give it up, but yeah, this is an awesome place. This ravine here is super deep. And wow. The woods here got ravaged by 2 hurricanes. And those hurricanes have done quite a bit of damage to local woodlot owners and property owners. You can still see in the woods here there's so much damage left over, and it's been a few years since those places have taken that damage. There's a lot of traffic here right now because there's a bridge that's down, and we can go have a look at that in a minute. But yeah, almost there, I promise. We're almost there. There it is. Meet the Stonehenge of Canada. Now it just turns out that I actually know the folks who live here. I'm going to stop in, say hi, and see if I'm allowed to do some video work here.
Now, what I want to say before I talk about what is actually here, this stone circle is in the middle of a field, and in Nova Scotia there are rules. Now, I have special permission to be here. It turns out the owners, Nigel and Jillian, are very friendly, very kind, and they welcome anybody, but you should ask permission before you ever enter a field, because it is against the law to enter agricultural property for any reason. That being said, always ask permission. Please don't ruin this for everyone, because this is kind of a special place, and it's not going to be very often that you can go here in Canada and see our own version of Stonehenge without actually going to England to see it. Now, this thing is not 800 years old. We're rated around 25 years old, and I always remember when it was put in. There's a lot of incredible stories about how this showed up, because it literally showed up overnight. And the stones themselves are significant. What I was told, because I sat down and I talked with the landowners, it was that the RCMP actually showed up here due to a complaint because someone actually reported that these were their foundation stones. And if you look at it, these are not foundation stones. No one would make a foundation out of these. They're too big, too odd shaped. And there was an actual investigation that was had during that time. This is really funny, which kind of leads into what these stones have done since then. The owners have put them here as an art installation. They are something to make your imagination go wild. They allow you to envision yourself, and honestly, when I was talking to Nigel earlier, he said, you should just go down there and sit down there and just sit amongst them. And he's right. Even though there's no leaves out or anything like that right now, and most importantly, no bugs, when you're sitting down here, you do feel a different sense of peace. Now, when I asked about whether or not the stones themselves were set here in such a way to line up with the solstice or ley lines, the issue with that was that they're actually set down in a hollow. They're in a valley, so there's no morning solstice sun in order to cast across them. So they weren't lined up for the solstice. Lines of ley, the stones are set up in a cardinal, and aviators such as helicopter pilots and people who divert use it as a landmark for aviation, and they some of them actually calibrate themselves to the stones with their helicopters and stuff like that, which is really interesting and really neat, because whether or not they intended to, these stones have made a massive cultural impact on the community and the area, and even around the world. They've had things sent to them from all over the world, lots of stories about a wizard, and lots of stories that I've seen myself, and a lot of fantasy which has inspired the imagination of people. It's probably because Stonehenge themselves doesn't have a whole lot of information. The Stonehenge over in England, you have the stones themselves representing the death and the burial rituals of the communities that were there at the time, and on the living sites that were juxtaposed to the stone sites, they would have the wooden pole sites that would be nearby, that would be set up in a similar way, just inverted for the solstices. Now, this doesn't have any of that connotation. This is not what the owners intended, to make it a burial site or a grave site. It is a place for every individual to make it what they want. And if you derive some sort of spiritual meaning from it, if you derive some sort of astrological meaning from it, if you're a Stargate SG-1 fan and think that this is the portal to another world, so be it. This is what it's for. And if you haven't been here, and if you want to go to a site that's worthy of 1 million visitors a year, you come down to the Wallace River and drive by, and you please ask if you're allowed to go in and see the stone circle and just have a sit. If not, the road goes right by it. You'll see it in the video. You can see this from the road. You don't actually have to even get out of your car. They've put it very publicly open. They knew that when they installed it. Things change and they can make it want to be more private. I'm trying to be very respectful, because some people will use this video in the future to abuse this place. There have been rituals held here by PhD doctoral students. There have been Wiccan here. There have been people encamping here. This place has a lot of similarities to a Stonehenge site, meaning that it's made out of stones. It's much smaller. There's only the moderate-sized stones, and it's next to a river. It's very close by to all the amenities that you would have in like airports and all that stuff. And it's on a gravel road, and it's perfect access for a motorcycle. It does have a plaque here that is out of respect for the owner's mother, and this is something that everyone would ask that you don't mess around with, and you respect at all times. Guys, if you want to just have an experience and bring your kids and light your kids' minds on fire with imagination of what the stones in the middle of a field mean, this is the way to do it. So let's talk about the stones themselves. They're between 6 and 12 tons each. They were hauled in, they were dug in one day and hauled in, and then buried the next day, and they were installed. The ground we're on is very, very The ground itself was very dry when they installed. I think it was in November they said they were put in, and which caused a great amount of suspicion in the locals because they didn't understand how something so big and so heavy could get in without tracks. And there was a lot of banter and talk at the time because you have to remember it was before social media, before everyone's lives and privacy was lost. This place was a place of mystery. It was a place where you couldn't comprehend because we don't have anything like this around here. And to understand why someone would do this was just, there wasn't publicly accessible. The internet was going, Google Maps was going, and Jillian said one of the things she didn't understand was that at the time when Google Maps was getting started, that the rest of the area was really grainy on Google Maps, except for the spot right over the stones. And I imagine the stones, their symmetry, they created a great deal of interest. And the news articles that have come up since then haven't done the story of why they put them here justice. The stones are replicas of a stone circle because that's where the family's from. They have Scottish heritage. That's it. There was no, well, I mean, you can make up whatever you want, but there was no actual portal to demons and Satan's pit or any of these different things brought into that aspect whenever they were put in. They're in a field next to their house, and they're deeply involved in horses and horse training and halflingers. These are just people that are expressing themselves through their art, and it turns out that the art that they chose to express themselves with is really popular locally, very famous, and really should be internationally famous. With that, if you like my content, please hit the subscribe button. There's so much more of this to come. We are going to peel back the layers of local history and history around us and things and sites and attractions like this that you may not even know exist, and you might be able to do like I can do and touch something that if it's not incredibly famous and historical right now, it should be, and it likely will be in years to come. So I hope that you guys are enjoying this. I've had so much fun making these videos for this channel so far. There's so many more projects to come up and things that are just blowing my mind. I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole. I knew about this place my whole life growing up, and I was really excited to share it. I'm really happy that the owners were excited to let me share it with you. All the people that are going to come here and see this, you should. And you should at least lay your eyes on it, if not ask to come in here to see if you can stand amongst the rocks. I have spent time here before. It's just an experience if you're open to these things, and if you just are aware of it, you will have a great time. It's a beautiful place. It gets better with the summer. Bring some bug spray with you because there's enough mosquitoes here to carry you away, and which today is like the perfect day. It's like the perfect Scottish day. The grass is low, the leaves are still off, there's no bugs, and man, it is just beautiful.
All right, gas light is on. Hopefully get another 20 or 30K in her. We're gonna go to the Wentworth Market, and then we're gonna make a big trip around. So this is Wallace River. We're on Simmons Road right now, and we're coming off onto branch road here that's going to go on to what we call the 6 Mile Road and go to Wentworth. Just like I said before, this is a great side road. It's being heavily traveled right now because this bridge right here is not finished. It's supposed to have been done quite a while ago, but they have had issues with the contractors, and it's very annoying. Anyway, it's closed. Looks like it should be open, but it's not. And that's the Wallace River, folks. And hopefully I make it to get some gas. Alright, we got fuel. Now we gotta backtrack. Went from Wallace River over to Wentworth, got some gas. Now I'm heading over to Westchester. Hopefully get a poke out here by exit 8 on the Trans-Canada Highway, and we're going to go up the hill, and we're going to pull off and get off highway there, and I got to take some pictures that I want to use for the channel, because it's a pretty cool spot. I always admired it from the road when I was working with the police car, and I think I can get up there, and you guys are going to watch me get on the struggle bus and try this. These roads are almost as good as gravel roads because they've been so neglected over the years that they have enough quirks to make them fun to ride, and they go through some of the wonkiest places. So I'm going to enjoy this ride out there. I'm going to turn you guys back on when I get back out on the highway, and you'll see where I'm going. I am doing all this right now for one photograph, and then I'm going from there all the way over to PEI because my son, one of my kids, is over there, and he wants me to pick him up and take him for a motorcycle ride home, so when he leaves his grandparents. So it's just, I got a great day. What a great ride. This is such a great way to be. I enjoyed making this video so much that it's going to take a lot to get me down today, and we're just going to take in this side road. Man, this is fine. Alright, so this is where we're at, and that's not what I thought it would be. So there's no way for me to get up there, pretty sure. But if I can get over to the flag, that'd be cool. We'll see what I can do. So this is the main highway through Nova Scotia, and this is one of the borrow pits they use. So there's a flag there, it's the highest point. I'm gonna see if I can get up there with the bike. To my surprise, we made it. Oh, it's a little bit of work, out of breath. We're gonna get a picture. Awesome. Bumpy. Today was amazing. Get out, go do something, it's so much fun. Can't believe we made it. Woohoo! We're back, heading to PEI. Alright everybody, welcome to PEI, the red mud province. I'm only a few kilometers away from picking up my young fella, which is really exciting. The bridge was so cold, it was so much colder. It's probably near like only 2 degrees Celsius, so it's not just freezing. It was, thankfully I had heated grips. As you can see, my mirrors, I fixed my mirrors. They were in the rabbit ears formation. They were on opposite sides. They needed to be switched around, which made it an easy fix. Even though they're not the greatest mirrors, they'll do the trick for now. And the other thing is, you might have noticed in the video so far, I am wearing my ugly boots. Now those ugly boots, they're not the prettiest, but hopefully people will see me. And I picked them because I intend in the next year or so to update the color scheme of this bike with a new decal kit. And obviously blue, black, red, and white is a theme that I am very interested in, and I think it's consistent with the BMW's intentions with their other vehicles as well. So thank you very much for following me along. I'm going to carry on here just down the road to the farm and pick up my young fella. And you guys have a great day. Hopefully you like this episode, and keep a lookout for more. Thank you.
Alright.
Your first time crossing the Confederation Bridge and your first time on a big motorcycle ride, double thumbs up, one thumb up, some thumb up, or no thumb up. I thought so.